Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day so far. My day's all right. Didn't do much. Went to school. The usual. Um, don't got very much news to cover today. We have segment from the Trump administration, a segment from China, and other news, as always. But yeah, let's get started. The Trump administration segment today includes the Trump administration imposing a new tariff on pharmaceuticals, and tariffs are being paused everywhere but China. Trump to impose a new tariff on pharmaceuticals. Trump said he will soon announce a major tariff on imported pharmaceuticals, a move that could end decades of global medicine trade at low costs. The US typically imports vast amounts of medicines from India, Europe, and China without having to pay a tariff, although some ingredients, due to cost, will already receive a tariff. Speaking at a fundraiser for the Republican Party, Trump said, "We're going to be announcing very shortly a major tariff on pharmaceuticals, and when they hear that, they will leave China." He also told reporters on Air Force One last week that pharmaceutical tariffs would arrive at a level they hadn't really been seen before, and would say they'll get announced in the near future. Now they've been announced. I have a feeling this turns many heads. Many people in the United States are already on medication, and not having access to that could be a big issue. Many prices of medication have already gone up because of the Trump administration, but this is a full attack on it and could very likely do a lot of damage. Trump has paused tariffs everywhere but China. Trump has announced another pause to tariffs, except for tariffs on China, for the next 3 months. In the fact, the Trump admin already plans to increase tariffs to 125% on China after their recent tariffs they had announced. All other countries' rates will go back to the universal 10% rate. Trump said in a post, based on the lack of respect from China shown to the world markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charged on China by the United States of America to 125%, effectively and immediately. At some point, hopefully in the future, China will realize days of ripping off the US and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. The markets have risen because of this, and they always will likely drop when the tariffs return. I wish Trump would just commit to the tariffs, and I know that sounds bad, but we've already seen the impacts he has, and he's still gonna enact them at the end of the day, anyways. So why are we just putting it off? Why wouldn't we prepare for the recession coming down the line? Um, I mean, this is like the third time the stock markets crashed just for the tariffs to be pulled away, or not crashed, but almost crashed. Um, the fact that he left China alone specifically is absolutely crazy because one, they're our biggest trading partner, and two, they provide a majority of the things here in the United States. I mean, even your shirt you're wearing now was probably made in China. So, why would you leave out the rest of the world but not include your biggest trading partner? Is it because the US is getting charged tariffs? Maybe. Is it because of any other reason? Maybe. But I feel like a trade war between the world's biggest economies helps no one in any situation, and it's not going to help anyone in any situation. But we'll see how that one goes. So as mentioned, China has imposed massive tariffs on the United States. This is moving on to the China segment. China has stepped up against the Trump administration, raising tariffs to 81% on imports from the U.S. starting April 10th. This comes as a response to the 105% tariff put on to China, which has now been raised to 125% because of these tariffs. The U.S. Treasury Secretary told Fox Business on Wednesday it's unfortunate that the Chinese don't actually want to come and negotiate because they are the worst offenders in the international trading system. By the way, the United States claims that they have 75 countries who are willing to negotiate, but they refuse to release the list of countries who are actually willing to negotiate. Um, Sounds interesting, doesn't it? It seems the U.S. and China are battling it out against each other specifically. The two largest economies in the world are in a trade war that will likely have major effects on both countries and maybe even the world as we know. As mentioned by literally everyone at this point, prices are going to rise and by a lot at that. Prepare for the worst and buy the essentials now if you can. It is so hot outside, bro. It is getting hotter and hotter every day. I can't do it. I hate the heat. I'm so hyped to live in Colorado where it's going to be not as hot as it is here. Um, China has issued a travel warning to the US. China's tourism ministry has issued a travel warning to Chinese citizens going to the US. The ministry said on Wednesday recently due to deterioration of the US economic and trade relations and the domestic security and trade relations in the United States, the foreign culture and tourism reminds Chinese tourists to fully assess the risk of traveling to the United States and be cautious. China's education ministry has also warned students who consider studying in the US. This is the next country in a long line of countries who will likely do this. As I mentioned the other day, Canada has also done the same thing, and it seems to be something many countries will consider in the coming months. Uh, of course, I believe Germany has also done this as well, and so has the Netherlands, I believe. So there is a few countries who have already done a travel warning on the United States, and it's gonna be a line of dominoes for all these other countries who might be interested in it. Um, we'll see how it goes, but obviously we don't really know on that front. We are zooming through this, and I only have one topic left. I had a really busy day, but I tried to cover as much news as possible, so there might be a few things missing. My apologies if there is, but these are, from what I've gathered, the main points from today. We have one other segment in the other news segment. Amazon has canceled orders due to tariffs. Amazon has canceled orders for multiple products made in China and other Asian countries, suggesting it removes exposure to Trump's tariffs imposed by the Trump administration. An Amazon spokesperson has declined to comment on the matter, but the company made a report in February talking about the risk of tariffs. China-based suppliers provide significant proportions of our components and finished goods. Some merchants even paused in inside or pa- some of the merchandise paused include clothes, beach chairs, scooters, or air conditioners, along with many other products. Um, Basically, Amazon is canceling orders due to the tariffs with China. This is very interesting. I'm sure it's very annoying to people who have made purchases recently, and I'm sure if your order has been canceled, you probably weren't very happy to hear that one. Tariffs will affect all prices, yes, but I don't think it's necessary to cancel orders, especially if they've already been paid for before the tariffs were enacted. Um, we'll see how this one goes. I'm honestly not too sure, especially in the online shopping space. I'm not too sure the impacts it'll have. As of course it'll raise prices. I'm not going to ignore that, but I feel like there are some underlying impacts that it might have that we don't know yet. But yeah, with that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope all of you guys had a wonderful day. My day was all right. Yeah, this is a pretty short one compared to normal. Normally these videos are around 20 minutes, and this one's shipping up to be about 10 minutes maybe. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. If you're on YouTube, drop a subscription, like the video, drop a comment, all the fun things. We're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube. Not really. I believe we're at 73 now, which is really hype. It's more YouTube subscribers than I've ever had before. But I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see that we are growing well on all platforms. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All funds go to me. They help me buy the things I need to in college, and they will help me pay for the things I need to in college. Or you could always, subscribe for free. That's always the option. Yeah, with that being said, thank you everyone for watching this video. Thank you everyone for tuning in for tonight's news recap. Hope all you guys have a good one. I will see you all tomorrow with another episode. Goodbye.